Well, hello, hello. How's it going? What's going on? I thought we'd open a little chat about what everyone thinks about what's really going on with this lockdown and this COVID 1984 Orwellian dystopia that we're falling into. I mean, really, it is falling into some weird, weird shit. We got grocery stores limiting how many people can go in now, only selling essential products. And I'm seeing that like seeds for gardens, like, tomato seeds and, you know, garden seeds. They're not essential items now. You can't buy those at Walmart. And that's kind of scary. Rolled over to see who's on. What a show over there. Yeah, it just came from over there. That's why I'm over here. There's a lot of drama on the Boit. I don't want to be part of that. I want to talk about what's really going on. And here is what I think is going on, okay? Folks, I think that the virus is very real. I think it is. And I think that they've known about it a little longer than what they're letting on to. I think that the virus was called vape illness there for a while because the vape illness, it just disappeared. Just disappeared. No one's getting vape illness anymore. It's all COVID-19 now. So I think it's been here a while. I think a lot of people have been sick with it already. I think a lot of people have already died from it already. Now we're seeing like major metropolitan areas get hit with it. But what a perfect cover for many of conspiracy theories. And let's talk about all of them. Let's talk about all the different conspiracy theories as to why we could be in a shutdown or a lockdown. Now, the one I've been rolling with lately is I think that this is going to be a shutdown to the Federal Reserve. And there's going to be a change in money that is used in this country. And I think that in this whole, the Fed going down, that there's going to be a lot of other people going down with the launch of the military against these drug lords and other criminal entities. Criminal entities can be child traffickers or human traffickers. Now we're having these checkpoints. Cell phones are being monitored for movement, so they know if people are abiding by the stay-at-home orders or not, and so they got their thumb down on everything. Movement's not going through without them knowing. So they know who those traffickers are. They know they're, I don't know, man. It's just so, or who remembers that asteroid or whatever that was that came by 2 years ago called the Muamua before Stephen Hawking died. It came by and then it accelerated and took off. Okay. As it came by Earth, then it accelerated and took off. And now we've got a comet coming towards us that is 10 to 12 meters across. So this thing's about 30, 40 feet across, thereabouts. But it's got like this gaseous thing around it, like its own atmosphere or something around it that's half the size of the sun. And that's getting ready to come by within, what they say, 75 million to 117 million miles of Earth. Okay. And the sun is roughly 95 million miles from Earth. So that thing is going to put off a hell of a light show. And light, regardless of where it comes, light is light. What kind of light is that going to cast onto the planet? That's going to be crazy. They locked the queen out of the castle by accident. No shit. Dempsey's alleged allergies. I don't know who that is. But anyways, so with that, and in history's past, there's always been a sighting of a comet before or during a pandemic, like during the plague, the Black Plague, there was sightings of comets. And if you look at the old paintings from the Renaissance time, some of them have paintings. There's like UFOs in the paintings. This is some weird shit, man. Weird shit. So, anybody want to come up and talk? There's the link. Feel free to come on up. Rule, come on up. Let's talk. Anybody's welcome. But yeah. So this thing's called the Atlas Comet, or C-19. Believe it or not, it's called C-19 or the Atlas Comet, and it's coming this way. I could I'd fall in love. Oh, doesn't know me very well. Yeah. Nah. But so you tool around on the internet and you'll find they were doing these studies with light. And what they were doing is they were taking chicken eggs and shining like light into them somehow. Some type of light. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure you can find it if you Google it. They were shining light into these eggs, like somehow like strobing the light, or I don't know. But what they were doing with this light was rearranging the DNA inside the egg. And they were taking chicken eggs and hatching fucking ducks out of them. And I remember it reminds me of an episode of Sci Factor from the mid 90s. It was hosted by Oh, shoot. He was one of the Blues Brothers. Dan Aykroyd. And there was an episode in there where there was a new sun, or the sun was changing or something like that. The light was changing on the planet. And there was this sound coming through the stereo, the radio. This weird sound started coming through the radio. And anyone that listened to it started getting sick and started having these weird physical changes. And what they found out was that there was, aliens or extraterrestrial beings sending this sound through the radio, that was, in a certain harmonic frequency, whatever, that was changing the DNA within the people that were listening to it. And what it was doing, it was preparing the people for the change in the sun. So it was like they were using the sound to change the DNA to evolve the people rapidly to be able to adjust to what the sun was going to do to the surface dwellers. And there were older people. They're like, no, we're not going to change. We're just going to go underground and stay underground. And the younger people, they changed. And that got me thinking, I'm like, we got this COVID-19 going around and we got a comet coming after Oumuamua, and who's to say it's a comet? I mean, that son of a bitch could pull up on Earth and just stop. We'd all freak out then, wouldn't we? Like, oh shit, Or what if it comes by? The Hopi prophecy talks about, the blue kachina and the red kachinas. There's other ancient people's stories to talk about, the light will come through and cleanse, and that's and that's when you find the new golden age. And believe it or not, that's kind of something I was thinking about too. It's like, we might come out of our homes and find ourselves, where we find importance in the important things. We find importance in science. We put emphasis on essential things instead of material things. We put emphasis on caring for our neighbor, planting gardens, taking care of the planet. I mean, look what the planet is doing. I mean, the 2-3 weeks that things are being shut down, the air is getting clean. There's good things happening and there's bad things happening. But, we've got a virus running rampant, killing people. We got a comet coming at us. I mean, it's just nuts. Now a green kachina. Yes. Is that the color that this comet's going to be? The hue of this comet's going to be is green. I thought, I got to thinking about science class, and it was like neon lights. And what neon lights are, they're just different gases inside the tube, and when hit with an electrical charge, they glow a different color. And I'm wondering, is this kind of like what that's going to be? Is like this gas cloud around this comet, the type of gas it is, and the sun hitting it, the charged particles lighting it up like a neon light. That would be poor Philo needs some acreage and livestock, keeps us normal folks sane. Yeah, I would like some acreage and livestock, but I definitely would have a bunker under the barn. I mean, we're all kind of in this together. I mean, what I was saying about we're in a dark age right now is it doesn't matter if you've got a smartphone in your hand or the latest technology in your house. We're still living in a dark age, in an age where, there's famine and, war and just profiteering off people and, human trafficking, and just, it's the country, the world is sick. We are in a dark age, and I hope we rise up from that and come out of this dark age into a new golden age. And, let's talk about the golden age. Like Saturnalia, which is now Christmas, was a celebration of the golden age of, the Greeks and the Romans, they celebrated Saturnalia to celebrate the old times, the golden age of when man walked with God. That's what Saturnalia was about. Bury bodies after I feed them to my turkeys and peafowl. Shallow graves are easiest. Peeps is cray cray. Well, pigs just eat everything. So the only thing is you got to pull the teeth out of their head before you feed them to them. So I hear. You also stuff a car trunk full of tires and just put the body in the middle, and the tires actually burn so hot that they'll burn the bone too. I don't know where I learned that. Anyways, we are talking about a new golden age now, and Saturnalia was that that celebration, and later turned out to be, they celebrated Christmas, and that's what Christmas came to be, much like how Easter, a religious holiday. Easter is the first Sunday after the full moon of the spring equinox. It's the only religious holiday that basically follows pagan ideology. But anyways, speaking of pagan ideology, isn't it funny how some wars are like the dates of wars and actions against other people by these governments, these elitists, there's important dates. And if you look at like when they launched the war in Iraq, and then when President Bush said that, victory, I know that was years ago, but these are important dates. And these weirdo, Alex Jones, kind of cracked the nut on that when he snuck into the Bohemian Grove and seen that they're doing like these weird things, these elitists, these world leaders, these lawmakers and shit are going to this wackadoo summer camp and shit. But this is not about Christianity or Satanism. It's about something else. It's about this ancient religions or this ancient ideology, and I don't know, but I don't think we're going to die. I don't think the comet's going to kill us. I mean, you got the Kennedy grandkids posting videos about it's going down. You got, Trump taking control of the Fed Reserve. You've got, a step up in military actions against, the cartels and other criminal entities. But what is odd is these makeshift hospitals are popping up all over the place, but they're sitting fucking empty. What is that about? People are showing videos of hospitals that aren't busy, ambulances just sitting there, people talking talking to people like, where's everybody at? Most certainly places like New York, where there's large populations in a small area, yeah, you're going to see problems. But from what I understand, even the hospitals in Kansas City aren't even overrun. I mean, it's just not it's nothing more serious than like the flu, I guess. I don't want to say that. I don't want to downplay it. I mean, it's a very serious virus. It's taking the lives of very healthy young people. But But I'm curious to what you all think, you know. Do you think that we're just being locked in our homes because this is a virus and they just were, I know that this is real. I've got I I don't know. It's worrisome, to say the least. It's very worrisome. I I don't know. Yeah, that's how I would like to live, peeps. So yeah, Snow Angel says that, I believe the virus is real. She had it. I also think that there's something else going on in the background. Well, what do you think that is, Snow Angel? What do you think's going on in the background? You can come up here if you want. All right, I'll post the link. There you go. Come on up. Oh, I Richard C. Hoagland was on the radio tonight talking about the comet and everything that's going on, and the fact that there are so many conspiracies that can be thrown out behind this whole virus lockdown thing, that it's just like, whoa. I mean, yeah, Trump doing, I've heard that theory about mass arrests as well. I've heard theories that maybe there's going to be a galactic exchange. Basically, they're trying to get us all in our homes because there is going to be extraterrestrial visitations. Richard C. Hoagland, who is pretty smart about stuff like that. Like I said, he was on the radio. That's what he was talking about with some stuff like that. This could be a precursor to an alien invasion. He said, we could be getting ready for an invasion. So, wow. We'll add you to the stream. Well, hello, peeps. Nice to meet you. I don't know how to unmute mic. They muted themselves. There you go.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Am I echoing like a motherfucker?
No, you're not.
Okay. Hi.
How's it going?
It's going.
So what do you think about all this?
Do I really want to go there?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what the whole chat was about. Let's chat about what's really going on. What do you think's really going on?
I don't know, but I need to take a time out for a second, and I'm going to nail JP to the wall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because he thinks I'm fakers.
I don't know what that's about. But so you live in the So you live in the
I'm
country
in California. Yeah.
in California? What part? Northern, southern, central?
I'm northern Nevada, Sierra Nevada. Be easy, he says. Come
Okay.
on. Get up here. Okay. All right. I'm not fakers. Thank you.
So what are you seeing out there as far as all this is going? I mean, are you seeing the shutdowns of the stores and like, I know in rural communities like stores like Walmart, grocery
Yeah.
stores are only allowing so many people in at a time now. Some are even going as far as to laying out direction lines in which you have to follow, like you go through and then you're done, leave.
It's not quite that bad here. I'm in a really small community and I'm close to Sacramento. I know in the Sacramento area it is pretty stupid. There's no toilet paper, there's no meat, there's no eggs, there's no bread. But when you branch out to the smaller communities, it's not quite so stupid. But I do see a lot of stupid out there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's I work on the road. I'm away at times, and I was lucky to when I did come home, I plenty of toilet paper, plenty of paper towels, plenty of cleaning supplies. With I actually have a lady that cleans the house, so she's kept the stuff like that up. And I've always been the type to keep food, so I did an assessment, laid everything out, and I was like, well, I'm good for at least 60 days. I could stretch it out to 90. And I've just been going to the grocery store about once a week, and I get some. Oh, they got some flour. I'll grab another thing of flour. Cool. I got some yeast now. Just kind of keep adding to what I already have. But of what I've found is if you know how to cook, there's plenty of stuff in the grocery stores. If you know how to cook, you'll be fine. It's a lot of the prepackaged stuff is gone. The cereals, the processed foods flying off the shelves. And for the people that don't eat like that, they'll be fine. I mean, because I go into, I got a King Supers down here. We drive out to go to the Walmart. So, there's been no lack of produce or, meat. Hamburgers kind of getting hard to come by. People are buying that up like crazy, but if you buy it in bulk, it's still sitting there in bulk. People aren't buying the 10-pound tubes. They're buying the 1 pound packages. So, but like I said, I think a lot of people feel like there's something. I feel like there's something more to this whole shutdown. And
personally, I live 20 miles from town, 25 miles from town. So I'm used to being a semi prepper. So this really isn't hitting me hard. I just kind of have to double up on the shopping when I get a chance.
Yeah.
When the zombies aren't out. But
well, see, I remember. Do you remember? I remember the CDC about 4 or 5 years ago posted. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, posted a thing you should prepare for a zombie apocalypse, and then you'll be prepared
CDC,
for any.
Really? Come on, Philo. You
This
believe
is for
government shit?
No, I'm not saying that.
You help people?
They're saying that. No, hold on.
Come on.
I'm saying.
Red, get your ass.
I was saying that the CDC was saying
Don't
to
you
prep.
me, motherfucker.
Well, will you let me finish?
No, ladies first.
The CDC said to prep like you're preparing for a zombie apocalypse. That way you'll be prepared for anything. Not saying that the CDC is saying that there's going to be a zombie apocalypse, but this was during the height of that Walking Dead series and Z Nation and all that. So they used it as a marketing strategy. Obama told us, before he left office, that you need to prepare. You should always have 3 months of food in your house. And now we're really finding out that the people that didn't listen are starting to scramble. And before long, I kind of feel before long there's going to start being camps, and they'll say, "Oh, do you want some food? Well, come on over to the camp. We'll get you signed in. We'll get you a bed. We'll get you vaccinated, and we'll get you fed." And so FEMA has had billboards up to prepare for last year all over the country, most safe for 6 months. Yep, I've seen those. You should always have plenty of food. I kind of think maybe part of this is a culling of the herd. Let's talk about the Georgia Guidestones. Now, Georgia Guidestones. Those of you who aren't familiar with it, the Georgia Guidestones were erected around 1979, 1980 in a farmer's field. This man, Robert C. Christian, bought this property from a farmer, erected the monument, then turned around and gave the land back to the farmer for him to use for cattle grazing. He still owned the land, but the farmer could use it as his. And then it was later transferred into the local government's hands. But inscripted on this is 10 things. It says to maintain humanity under 50 or 500 million in perpetual balance with nature, guide reproduction wisely, improve fitness and diversity, unite humanity with a living new language. Okay. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. And it actually repeats that, it actually says that twice, to leave room for nature twice. Yep, there's 350 million people just in America alone. Follows right. 380, I think, now. With a population explosion at the rate that we're going, see, that's something that hasn't been talked about, is that the world's we're at a point now where our population will double within the next 10 or 12 years. And I mean, that's crazy to think about. We're already at a point where there's so many of us now that we can double our population within 10 years. So, I mean, they need to slow that. They got to slow that down. And how do you slow that down? Well, wars are pretty good. Wars kill people off. Viruses kill people off. Natural disasters. Speaking of natural disasters, I mean, there was like 6 or 7 earthquakes in the last couple days. All over 5.0. All of them over 5.0. So I think, that comet might have something to do with all the earthquakes. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know a whole lot, really. I just know what I see in the news. I like that hue of purple off the wall. When they light the sky up, the night sky is going to be lit up all green from that comet. You go outside, it'll just be green outside. It'll be super weird. I wonder what kind of light spectrum that is, you know? Hey, Rule, you know about the ant people and the Hopi and stuff and their prophecies. You lived in Atlanta and you never went and checked the stones out. When did you first learn about the Georgia Guidestones? I was introduced to conspiracy kind of crap at a young age. I was 18 years old. I worked for Johnson and Johnson, actually, or who was Procter and Gamble. It was SC Johnson and Wax. It was Johnson Johnson Company. I worked for SC Johnson and Wax, making cat litter. Okay, and after work, we'd all go down to this bar. You go out and you go across the train tracks and down this old gravel road. And you come to this old bar, and we'd all go there after work. And we get off work at like 11 o'clock, 11:30. You go sit at the bar till 1. Have a couple beers and go home. But there's a guy that was in there. He was talking to him, and I got to talking about laws of the flag and some stuff like that, because I knew a little bit about that. I found it interesting at the time. Your conspiracy rum, is there really conspiracy rum? You be careful, peeps. That rum hurts me. I don't know what it is. I can't drink rum. It fucks me up. So he got to telling me, he goes, well, you know about fluoride, right? I said, no. And I said, well, fluoride, they put it in water, it makes your teeth strong, He goes, but does it? I said, well, yeah, they wouldn't do that. And he goes, well, where's the studies that say that it makes your teeth strong? Because the people over in this rich town that had access to toothpaste and toothbrushes that actually had fluoride in their water had better teeth than the town that didn't have fluoride in their water that was of lower income. Yeah. Or was it because, they knew Hitler used fluoride in the ghettos in the 30s and 40s? He pumped fluoride into the water supply for the Jewish ghettos. And then, yeah, man, that shit is terrible. And now they put it in our drink. Fluoride is a byproduct of the aluminum industry. It's poison. It is fucking poison. It straight up has skull and crossbones on the barrels and shit. Poison, fluoride. Main ingredient in Prozac is fluoride. Main ingredient in fucking rat poison is fluoride. So, we're all sitting in our houses, drinking our fluoride water, bathing in our fluoride water, cooking with our fluoride water, doing what the man on the TV tells us to do, to stay in our house, cover our face, don't go anywhere unless you have to, essential travel only, blah, 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 you know, and all the while there's a comet hurling towards Earth, you know. So, and, you know, just a whole bunch of shit just going on with, you know, Trump taking over the Federal Reserve, and I don't know. Can I play that trailer? You know, I think I can. Here we go. Here we go. This will be the. Well, that's not it. Here we go. Gerard Butler. Well, this movie has been removed by the uploader, huh? Well, that's interesting, kids. Well, let's go over here. We're going to have to. Well, it's not coming up. Let's. All right. Well, here we go. And Well, that was interesting to say the least. I mean, but we are no audio. Well, that Greenland 2020. Just type in Greenland 2020 trailer and it'll pop up. I don't know why there was no audio. It's probably because I didn't click that button. So we can watch it again.
Big news.
I don't see Clark.
Maybe he's still sleeping.
Dad.
Some of Clark's larger fragments are now expected to enter our atmosphere.
That's right. And now there's
What are they saying?
More of the same.
Now I'm looking at the chart here.
Whoa. Where are they going?
I don't know. When the first chunk's about to hit.
April 22nd, we'll be having some meteor showers on the 22nd, on May 4th, and July 30th. April 22nd, May 4th are going to be this going through the tales of Thatcher and Haley's comet.
Word that the fragment has hit Central Florida.
Oh my God.
Wait, are some more pieces gonna hit?
Come on, let's go.
But the sky's on fire.
2 days. They got it all wrong. There's a ton of fragments. Planet killers.
That didn't take long.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. It was supposed to.
Safety.
They've been
How about that?
Flights to bunkers in Greenland.
It's their only chance.
Move back!
Drop your weapons now!
Allison! Nathan! Allison!
Where's Dad?
We'll find him. It's okay. Clark's largest fragment will hit in less than 24 hours.
I swear, I'm gonna get my family into that bunker. I know you will, son.
If you are hearing this broadcast, seek shelter immediately.
What is it? What's going on?
If you are hearing this broadcast, seek shelter immediately.
Hang on, Nathan.
Seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter immediately.
So you think they say meteor, but the description, it sounded like Nibiru. In the movie? Is that what you're talking about? Or Atlas? You think Atlas is Nibiru? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Now, this comet that's coming by, it could pepper its path that it's going through with debris. Atlas, yes, that meteor or comet is called Atlas or C19. Yeah, you're right, Snow Angel. We'll be able to see it here in a couple of weeks with the naked eye, but right now you can see it with a pair of binoculars or even a telescope or pair of binoculars coming out of the handle of the Big Dipper. One of the dippers. I have to look at it again, but yeah, it's around one of the dippers, and you'll be able to see it. I can. Pull up some pictures of this. Now, here we go. Going to there's your comet. There we go. Now, yeah, this is Atlas. The comet itself, the core of this comet is only 10 to 12 meters across, but it has like this gaseous cloud of, ice and whatever around it that is 5 times the size of Jupiter or half the size of the sun. Yeah, it's a big one. So, but they say it's not going to be a big deal. I don't know. I hope it isn't a big deal. I hope it just comes by and we get a pretty cool light show, but I don't know. So let's go here. I gotta go to bed too, man. So, anyways, that's just something to chew on. Y'all can think about that. We'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good night.